guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making biscuits and we will share it with you. What is our recipe? And it's morning here, so we will show you the recipe. And here it is. My husband will do it because he's the expert.
Okay, so we'll start with 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. We will add 1 tablespoon of baking powder and just level it off with a knife or the side of the jar. Doesn't really matter. These biscuits will turn out very fluffy and layered. The secret from my grandmother's recipe, obviously, is you have to have Crisco. We've tried it with butter in the past, but they're good with butter, but it's not the same as cooking with Crisco. So, 2 cups of flour, excuse me, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and you also need 1 teaspoon of salt. So, we'll go ahead and add that in our 1 teaspoon of salt. Biscuits without salt don't really taste the same. It's just something about salt. So once you put that in, you're going to take 4 heaping tablespoons of Crisco. Just like such. And when I say heaping, I don't even round it off. It's probably a little bit more. We'll do 4.5. And what's going to end up happening is that you're going to end up having that crumbly mixture when you're done. And so the next step will be you'll need a pastry cutter. It's the best way to get this done is to use your pastry cutter to even everything out. And so with your pastry cutter, you do like such. So the pastry cutter is going to end up getting all the Crisco and the flour kind of mixed into this crumbly flour mixture. So what that basically means is that when you cook your biscuits, the oil's pretty much going to be in every part of the flour because your pastry cutter is going to make sure that it's, the old-fashioned way before I use the pastry cutters, I used to have to use a fork. Pastry cutter just makes it so much easier. It'll take about, 5 to 10 minutes of just pushing everything in there like such so that you have no more lumps of Crisco when you make your biscuits. In the meantime, you'll want to go ahead and set your oven to 425 degrees. Get it preheated because it's going to take about 15 minutes. So we're going to pause real quick to preheat the oven to 425. Nothing's in the oven, right?
No, is it 400?
425, yeah. Then, folks, the other thing you'll do is you'll do this. So that you have in a minute, but right now we got to do this one. So we're back to using the pastry cutter. Get it as fine as we can. These biscuits really do turn out really good. They're almost like a canned biscuit texture, but homemade without all the preservatives and all that stuff in there. So then once you do that, you're going to want to, I take a piece of paper towel and get just a small amount of Crisco. This will help brown them on the bottom. As such. Okay, that's easy. So we'll use...
I bought one.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll use buttermilk. Which makes it... Anybody knows anything about biscuits knows that buttermilk makes the best biscuits. And we'll do 1 cup of buttermilk. remove our pastry cutter. And then we're going to slowly mix in the milk. It's going to be kind of mushy. That's normal. Stir it up a little bit to get all the milk soaked up. And use my faithful tablespoon to get off the extra batter. So, the secret here is to take your flour, where you can kind of start getting your hands around the batter without, getting your hands too sticky. So I'll take flour and sprinkle on the top, and then I'll start working my batter. And then once I start getting the flour all around and on the bottom and on the sides, then I start having a dough that I can work with as such. You notice it's not sticking so bad because I'm slowly using flour to get it to where I can maneuver it in the pan. Everybody does it different to get, see how now I can kind of move it around. Still, squishy, but it's going to be because it's flour. And all you're going to do from here is continue to work it till you get most of those spots out. Then you'll be able to knead it. Still got a couple wet spots of flour here, or of dough, I should say. I got some that'll stick to the bottom, to the sides. Not really that big of a deal. Here in a second, I'll rinse my hands. And now I'm just kind of kneading it. This is what's going to help make them layered. Almost like some of the more, without mentioning brand names, some of the more expensive canned biscuits. The kneading process makes your dough softer. And then this will make about, if you do thin biscuits, this will make about 15. If you do thicker biscuits, yeah, it'll make about 10. 10's more than enough for our family size. Typically, we'll have 1 or 2 left over. And that's normal for here. See how now it's very, very easy to work with. Had enough flour coating on the outside where it's not sticky. Super easy. Here. See, I'll continue to sprinkle till I get to where my hands are not really sticky on any parts of the dough. And there, we're pretty much done with that part of it. Now what I do with mine is I roll them out on the actual cookie sheet. So we're gonna make a thicker biscuit this time. So we're gonna use our faithful biscuit cutter. These are going to be thick. So I'm just going to start out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you see already, I've got 9 biscuits. That quick. And then I'm just gonna, these are a little bit thinner. No, maybe about the same. A little bit thicker than what I normally do. But I like them, the kids like them thicker with layers. See, this one's really thick right here. And you know, it's not gonna be really so much how they look, although they'll look decent. It's gonna be how they taste. So we've already got 9 right there, and look how much I've got left over. I've seen several videos where people will do 4 cups of flour. Unless you've got a super large family, 4 cups is a lot of extra biscuits. And maybe that's these turn out extremely tasty. Look, 3, 6, 9, 12. We're already at 12 biscuits. And then I'll make a big puffer biscuit for the last row. Put them in the oven. And that's it. Could also put just a tad bit of Crisco on the top, although they're going to come out pretty brown anyway, but that just helps. The key to your biscuits is you want to make them moist. Typically I could melt the Crisco and do it that way, but in the essence of saving time, we'll throw just a tad bit on the top, and that's it. We're ready to bake. My hands are greasy. I don't put grease on that. All right, looks like they're done. Only took about, I don't know, 15 to 18 minutes. And see how the Crisco made them golden brown on the top? We'll set them on a silicone baking sheet so that we don't burn the counter. And you can see what I was talking about on the flakiness. Some of that there and here. See how they kind of flake and crack open? So these are going to be very good.